cause I'm very nice. I practice that every night to get on this herd mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I be killing tracks to the earth like my birthright. I'm solid like sound money and you fools sound.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. So let's talk about Triplemania 29, which took place on August the 14th, 2021. So I watched the entire show, but I'm not going to do a review of the entire show. I'm only going to do a review of 3 or 4 matches. Mainly because, those are probably like the 3 or 4 matches that kind of matter to the quote-unquote forbidden door situation, where you have AAA, Impact, or AEW working this match. So the first one in that class would be Fabi Apache versus Deonna Purrazzo for title the Reina de Reinas, or the Women's Championship in AAA, versus the Knockouts Championship of Impact. So the match was solid. Unfortunately, Mexico has this thing with the heel referee, especially Tirantes, where he essentially is involved a little too heavily into the match. I know it's Mexican culture, and I've seen plenty of Triplemanias and plenty of Lucha Libre to know, at least in AAA, that it's a recurring thing. I just don't like it. To me, both this match and the Kenny Omega and Andrade match were kind of both ruined by this heel referee stuff. And I really don't like it. And he has a history with Fabi Apache, so of course he's always trying to screw her over. And of course you get the big spots where Fabi Apache is taking down the ref, like she does like hurricanranas on him, and tilt-a-whirl head scissors on the referee and stuff like that. But the referee essentially is deciding the match. In this match, it wasn't the best Deonna Purrazzo I've ever seen, or Deonna Purrazzo or Fabi Apache. I think they both could have done better. It was a little disappointing in that regard. But Deonna Purrazzo wins both titles with the Venus de Milo, which actually didn't even seem to be properly applied from what it looks like. I wasn't thrilled with this match. I expected more, and it was a little disappointing for me. But it was okay. It got to where it was supposed to get to. And I'm guessing, of course, Deonna's work is not done in AAA. They set up a match with her and Maravilla versus Lady Shiny and Fabi Apache for the future. So, that's because they got jumped after the match. Maravilla was in the corner of Deonna Purrazzo, and Lady Shiny was in the corner of Fabi Apache. So it wasn't what it should have been, but it was, solid, I guess. I was actually looking forward to that match second most out of all of them. So the next match was Taurus and Brian Cage versus El Hijo del Vikingo and the Laredo Kid versus the Lucha Brothers for the AAA Tag Team Championships in a tornado-style match. And it was just absolute chaos. I mean, AAA is just known for chaos. So this match was absolute chaos. There was no concept of who is the legal man. So it was just dudes doing stuff, and dudes did everything. I don't like Brian Cage. Somebody asked me once why I didn't like Brian Cage, and I said he was a geek, and they didn't know what I mean. And I mean is he's a get your shit in guy who doesn't know how to work, but he doesn't know how to do stuff. And in this environment, it was fine for him to just do things, especially power spots, because it didn't require any psychology. He could just go in there and do shit, and it worked out for him. I'm a big fan of Taurus. And even not really an Impact, because he's stuck with Decay, even though, he fits in Decay, but it doesn't really work out. He's not getting pushed like he should. But there was just people everywhere. And one of the cool spots was Taurus doing a gorilla press slam on Phoenix from the top rope. It was insane, Of course, he didn't. You would think like that would be like, a big spot, but Phoenix was up and running around. 90 seconds later, maybe not even 90 seconds, probably like 10 seconds later. The finish came on an elevated pedigree on Vikingo. The Lucha Brothers won the match. So that was a big schmoz. They did a couple of big schmozes back to back. The next match was all AAA, but that match was also absolutely just chaotic. But I learned something while watching the stream, that Sam Adonis, who the guy I've seen him in AAA, I've seen him in NWA, I've seen him in Impact. He's the brother of Corey Graves, And I had to actually look that up. And he is the younger brother of Corey Graves. So that is crazy. I had no idea. And so that's really cool. Maybe we can see him in WWE one day, But I don't think Corey Graves has that kind of pull. In any event, we get into the match everybody cares about. Andrade El Idolo versus Kenny Omega. So there was a skit earlier where Conan goes to Andrade. And he's trying to talk to Andrade. He wants to be in Andrade's corner for this match. Andrade tells him roughly that he doesn't want Conan at his side, that he got someone else. So then Conan goes over to Kenny Omega and guarantees that Kenny Omega, he got a plan, and that Kenny Omega will win if he lets Conan be in his corner. So we get the match, and Conan is in the corner of Kenny Omega, and Ric Flair is in the corner of Andrade. So you think that this is going to be a big deal? Like this is awesome. This is going to be fantastic. You got Ric Flair going to be ringside for his son-in-law's big moment. Nope. Kenny Omega wins. Kenny Omega wins. So there that go. Again, it was a lot of heel referee stuff in this match. The match itself was perfectly fine. I know a lot of people have been very critical of Andrade recently. His style of working is not as fast and reckless as it used to be. It's more tapered down. Some people just say, oh, the WWE system, like he was in there for 4 years. He was in WWE for 4 or 5 years, and he was wrestling for, over a decade before that, wasn't he? So I doubt that, just having 4 or 5 years of NXT training changed him that much. He probably understands a little bit more now how to work a main event heavyweight style, which is, what they did here. It wasn't too much. They didn't do a lot, but it was a very solid match. There was a couple of cool spots here. One, Kenny Omega tried to do a snapdragon from the top rope. Then Andrade landed on his feet. That was pretty sweet. I also liked the dragon sleeper over the top rope that Andrade did. Think of it like the tarantula, except it was the dragon sleeper. It was pretty dope. I like that move. The Tarantes, the referee, was cheating in favor of Kenny Omega. So he was fast counting when Kenny Omega had a pin. He was not counting at all when Andrade had a pin. Ric Flair was outside the ring, getting upset, taking his jacket off. It was crazy. They started doing some distractions, referee distractions, which prevented Andrade from winning. Flair got in the ring to prevent Kenny Omega from hitting Andrade with the belt. Then Flair and Andrade took turns chopping Omega in the chest, which was a great spot. It was a great spot because Kenny Omega had been mocking Ric Flair all night, doing the Ric Flair strut, and they pretty much been doing it all night. So this was time for Flair to really get his shit in, and they were just chopping them back and forth, and it was a pretty dope moment. You've probably seen the GIF or the GIF floating around. I'll probably have it in the video, hopefully, if I remember. And it was a fun spot. It was probably the most fun spot on the entire show. Followed by probably the second most fun spot on the entire show, when Conan gets involved and Conan gets chopped down, and then Conan gets put in the figure 4 by Ric Flair, and Andrade puts Kenny Omega in the figure 4. It was a great spot. Got a good reaction. Everybody loved it. It was fun. And then the finish comes with Kenny Omega doing the one-winged angel on the belt, in which everybody saw it, the referee included. But referee then, on top of all of that, fast counted Andrade and pinned him. The referee absolutely killed it for me. This and the Fabio Pacino Deonna Purrazzo match. It's just, I get that they're trying to protect Andrade, and Andrade was supposed to bring the belt home for AAA. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they didn't have him win it. I'm guessing Conan, he really favors Laredo Kid, and I know he's already beaten Laredo Kid, but I think that that's probably going to be the guy that's going to take the belt from him. It's probably going to be Laredo Kid when it's time. So whatever, the match itself was really good. Match of the night for sure. As far as matches I can understand, like there were other car crash matches and that were fine, and there were other matches that were more emotional. For instance, Psycho Clown and Rey Escorpion was more emotional. Especially at the end. But I really enjoyed Omega and Andrade for what it was. And I think that people wanted more of it to be more Lucha Libre style, more fast paced. Guys just breakneck running around doing everything, which is kind of the style of AAA. I like the more methodical style that they did something different. That was going on from the rest of the card. You know, it was a more traditional wrestling match, and I really enjoyed it. And it was Kenny Omega being a more traditional world champion. You know, a very NWA-ish style world champion where he has to cheat in order to maintain his title. So it was fine on that respect. Andrade, of course, says after the match that the belt is still his, but then on Twitter he kind of said, you know, if I can't beat you, then Roosh will. And I guess Roosh is next. So Roosh didn't come out there, but I'm guessing Roosh is next. So it was a very interesting scenario. I'm not thrilled with the finish. Really not. I thought Kenny Omega lost to Christian in preparing so that they could get the loss on AEW TV and kind of overshadow that he would lose at Triplemania. But then he won, so that theory is blown up. Yes, it is absolutely true, and I know a lot of people who are upset that Andrade lost. It is absolutely true that AAA does not care about the championships, okay? It is true. They care more about things like masks and hair. That's why, and Psycho Clown is a bigger star anyway. That's why Psycho Clown was in the main event. A lot of people were like, why is Kenny Omega not the main event? It's because outside of Mexico, Kenny Omega is a big deal. Inside of Mexico, Psycho Clown is John Cena. So ultimately, of course, he's going to be the main event. And mask versus hair, even though it was completely and totally predictable that Psycho Clown, the most popular wrestler in Mexico, is not going to lose his title. So, I mean, not going to lose his mask. It was ridiculous. And, you know, they built the entire story around his dad, who had lost his hair to Rey Escorpion. There was just no way he was going to lose. And so even though it was completely and totally predictable, it had to go on last because Psycho Clown is a bigger star. Now, I know that, you know, people will say, oh, look at the Twitch streams. They increased so much when Kenny Omega was wrestling, and then it dipped right back down afterwards. It's like, yeah, because the American audiences cared about the Kenny Omega Andrade match. And that's, you know, it's acceptable. It's understandable. But it's a Mexican event. And in Mexico, people have come to see Psycho Clown, not Kenny Omega versus Andrade. So it kind of is what it is. But it was a fun match. It was a fun show. Deonna Purrazzo now has 2 belts. Kenny Omega still has 2 belts. So I expect, again, Kenny Omega to win his Impact title back. And there that go. But I enjoyed the show in its entirety. Especially, you know, the insanity of the Marvel AAA stuff. I'm not a fan, but it's always insane what I see there. They did a spot where the Spider-Man Arachno zip lines to the ring upside down, and I was just like, oh my goodness! Not because it was so cool, but I was like, I hope nobody dies. You know, I hope this guy doesn't die. AAA isn't known exactly for being the most careful promotion when it comes to certain things. So that was really cool. But other than that, man, there's nothing else an American audience would really care that much about. So it was a solid show if you watched it. If you want to watch Kenny Omega and Andrade, which I probably will end up watching it again. It'll probably be floating around here somewhere. You could probably find Lucha Blog, and he'll probably have it posted somewhere, or it'll probably be up on YouTube in a minute. And but thank you guys for listening to this review. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel via Cash App or Subscribe Star, and I'll talk to you guys later.